The cut on your leg is no longer red. It's purple, hot, and streaking toward your groin. You haven't seen a doctor in 14 days because there are no doctors. The amoxicillin ran out yesterday. And then you remember the old story. The one about the moldy bread that saved thousands of soldiers in World War II. So you grab the loaf from the back of the pantry, scrape the fuzzy green fur into a jar of warm water, and wait for the medicine that you are certain will grow itself out of the rot. 6 days later, you are stone cold dead. Not from the infection, from the cure. Most people think making penicillin at home is a survival hack. They are fermenting a toxic, unmeasured, wildly unpredictable biochemical cocktail that will destroy their kidneys, trigger anaphylaxis, or dose them with aflatoxin, a liver carcinogen, before a single bacterium in their bloodstream is ever touched. Subscribe so you never miss this. Stay for the final reason. The one where you inject a perfectly sterile, highly purified, life-saving antibiotic into your thigh, and your body still kills you in under 4 minutes just because you didn't have a single scrap of information that a peacetime doctor would have handed you on a post-it note. The systemic lie is the YouTube thumbnail that reads, "Make antibiotics at home." It's a seductive, lethal oversimplification. Penicillin is not mold juice. Penicillin is a highly specific secondary metabolite excreted by the fungus Penicillium chrysogenum under precise conditions of temperature, pH, and nutrient starvation. The green fuzz on your bread might be penicillium. It might also be Aspergillus rhizopus, or a dozen other species that produce mycotoxins instead of antibiotics. You cannot tell without a microscope, a staining kit, and a mycology degree. And even if it is the right mold, what you are about to brew in your kitchen is a death penalty, not a prescription. Number 1. You will grow the wrong mold, and it will give you cancer. The slice of bread on your counter is a tiny jungle. The green fuzz could be Penicillium chrysogenum, the source of penicillin. Or it could be Penicillium verrucosum, which produces ochratoxin A, a kidney poison. Or Aspergillus flavus, which produces aflatoxin B1, one of the most potent natural carcinogens ever discovered. Aflatoxin causes liver cancer. It is not destroyed by boiling. It does not taste bitter. And there is no filtration system you can build from a coffee filter and a funnel that removes it. You cannot tell the green fuzzes apart by sight. You are growing a random biological weapon, and the odds of it being benign are worse than a coin toss. The pharmacy you are trying to replace spends millions of dollars to maintain pure, single-strain cultures. Your pantry is a genetic lottery. Number 2. The fermentation you brew will also breed a bacterial soup. The old recipe says to grow the mold in a shallow broth of water and sugar or potato starch. You sterilize it as best you can, maybe by boiling, but you are not working in a laminar flow hood. The air in your house is thick with bacteria that drop into that broth the moment you look at it. The mold and the bacteria now grow together. The bacteria produce endotoxins. When you finally filter your cloudy brackish mixture through a cloth, you are not holding a sterile antibiotic. You are holding a mixed species ferment of fungal spores, bacterial fragments, and metabolic waste products that, if injected or even ingested, will trigger a systemic inflammatory response called sepsis. You are trying to cure a wound infection by giving yourself a bloodstream infection. The mold didn't save you. The bacteria you invited to the party finished the job before the penicillin even had time to dissolve. Number 3. You have no way to dose it, and you will inject death. This is the fatal physics. Even if you grew the perfect mold from a pure strain you somehow verified with a microscope, and you kept the culture sterile, and you extracted the penicillin using amyl acetate and potassium acetate in a fully equipped laboratory, you still have zero ability to measure the concentration. Penicillin is dosed in milligrams per kilogram of body weight. Too little, and the bacteria survive and develop resistance, turning a treatable infection into an untreatable one. Too much, and you destroy your kidneys or trigger neurotoxicity. You have no HPLC machine, no mass spectrometer, no way to precisely titrate the powder you scraped off a petri dish. You will guess. The guess will be wrong. The overdose convulses you. The underdose makes the infection laugh and roar back hotter. The dose makes the poison, and you do not know the dose. Number 4. The anaphylaxis that needs no contamination. Here is the cruelest reality. Even if you solve the sterility, the strain selection, the bacterial contamination, the extraction, and the dosing, you would still face a final hurdle that you cannot see and cannot fix. Roughly 10% of the human population is allergic to penicillin. Anaphylaxis is not a rash, it's anaphylactic shock. Your throat closes, your blood pressure vanishes. Your lungs fill with fluid, You die in under 4 minutes. You do not know if you are allergic because you've never had penicillin. There's no scratch test in the apocalypse. You will inject your homemade, lab pure miracle into your own muscle, and within seconds, your own immune system will execute you. The mold was perfect. The process was flawless. The outcome was death. Here is the reality the internet survival hackers will never whisper to you over a stovetop full of old bread. The discovery of penicillin was a miracle of the 20th century, but it required industrial infrastructure. The purification process, the cold chain, the sterile ampules, the skin prick allergy test, the measured syringes. These are not accessories. They are the medical scaffolding that turns a fungal toxin into a life-saving drug. In the aftermath, without that scaffolding, the moldy bread is just moldy bread. It is poison wrapped in folklore, and it will kill you faster than the infection it was meant to cure. The real prepper play for antibiotics is not a jar of wet bread. It is a sealed, properly labeled, veterinary-grade bottle of fish amoxicillin or fish doxycycline, stored in a cool, dark, dry place, purchased legally without a prescription, chemically identical to the human tablet. Or a kit of broad-spectrum oral antibiotics prescribed by a telehealth doctor for traveler's diarrhea before the grid fails. Or raw, unpasteurized honey packed into a wound, which has a very weak antiseptic effect but will not cause anaphylaxis. And this is the hardest pill to swallow, accepting that some infections in a collapsed world will kill you, and no amount of moldy bread will change that calculus. Now drop a comment and tell me this. Have you ever heard the moldy bread myth, and did you believe it before this moment? Write guilty in the comments if you did. Then go open your medicine cabinet. What is the single most important prescription bottle in there right now? And when does it expire? Write it down. And in the next video, we are moving from fake cures to the real ones. The 3 antiseptics you can make from plants in your backyard that actually kill bacteria, backed by modern science, not internet folklore. I'll see you there.